good game.
You think so?
They're highly ranked.
Yeah.
Like Norway has played really well in the World Cup. Paulie, Mr. Soccer.
He would just dribble into two guys and try to have this slick footwork, but like you gotta pass to feet.
Pass to feet. Pass to feet.
Listen, I played soccer. I understand the game.
You guys, Lukaku's a legend.
I got a bad case of Lukaku.
To let Belichick take over as the head coach until he won the 15 games that he needs.
How many years was that going
to break? Wow.
Also, some other news. Alex and I were talking. The Fleet are moving to BU. They're going to move to Agganis Arena.
The who? I'm the loser who wrote in last week mentioning that I listened to old shows. Evan mocked me. It's hugely embarrassing to be mocked by Evan.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota.com.
All right. Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Wednesday here at Gillette Stadium, and I almost got that wrong.
Blue Shirt Wednesday.
A special Wednesday show because tomorrow is Morocco and France, the last World Cup game here at Boston Stadium. It's a quarterfinal match. Should be a good one. But we're here Wednesday to do our second show of the week and follow up from yesterday. But in the meantime, by the way, it's Paul, it's me, it's Matt in the booth, and Mike.
Say Mike.
Michael.
But on your long commute from Sharon, you had some time to think. And you came with sort of some, I don't know if it's a take, but some observations today.
Oh, of Mac Jones, you mean?
Well, that's up for you to talk about.
No, I was just watching Mac Jones on Bussin' with the Boys, and that was, I think, posted yesterday. Always interesting to hear the perspective of the player who we spent plenty of time talking about and, reviewing all the decisions that were made around him. And, nothing earth-shattering. I think it was just interesting to hear kind of Mac's perspective and how he handled it. And, he was big on it all kind of started when Josh left. That was and saying he would have liked the chance in his second year to, have built on what they had. And, that at one point that he thought Bill was going to be the one calling plays and that they never really hired anybody. And then that they were kind of figuring it out in camp, as we plainly observed throughout that summer. He said that they really made some major changes to the offense just before the opener against Miami. And he just never really found a comfort zone. And as a young player, was never really, comfortable standing up or, and the same thing with Zappy. Like he said, he's a good guy. We weren't great friends, but I felt like we were supportive of each other. But it was, just a difficult situation with two young quarterbacks. And, mentioned the media storm around that and the controversy and, just how it was kind of difficult to navigate.
I mean, think about the situation. You're a second-year player, and your hard-headed head coach makes a decision that for most people thought, what the hell is he doing? And as a second-year quarterback, you're finding out over time, this was a bad decision.
Yeah.
And you're trying to navigate through that. And every time you do, you're building a bigger wedge between you and the head coach because you're questioning his decision. And probably there was a point where Bill realized it was a bad decision, but, he'll double down.
You're already down that
right.
road. Yeah.
And then he had the reaching out to people at Alabama for help, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. No, he did say that first year they were, him and Bill used to have breakfast together and that they would joke around, and he said, something kind of started to change after the second year. And, he said, look, we're not exactly the same kind of personalities. We can all see that. Mac's kind of goofy and, and Bill's very serious. He talked about one time Mac scored a touchdown and did the gritty again, and Bill was yelling at him in the film session for doing it away from his teammates. So, I think we could all see that it was maybe a little oil and water with that relationship. But again, nothing groundbreaking. The one thing I did say to Paul that I didn't remember was I think the Chicago game was kind of a famous inflection point when Justin Fields went wild here. And I didn't remember, but Mac said going into that, they told him it was going to be a rotation. They just grabbed him in the hall, and they're and he felt like, I got hurt. I felt like I was playing okay. We were a couple plays away in those first few games that we could have maybe won. And I didn't really have a chance to at least get back there and reestablish myself. So,
and that was one of the most painful high ankle sprains ever.
Yeah, well,
that anyone ever
certainly looked at.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's it's so funny. You get so wrapped up in the current team and Drake May and how cool it is, and we love Drake May and all the Drake May and all that stuff, and you kind of flash back to those few years with Mac and all the hopes and dreams that were put on him following Cam Newton and all that. So it was a little bit of a
Well,
flashback to those
If all that
seasons.
stuff hadn't happened, we wouldn't be where we are now, right?
I hope so.
I'm glad it happened. But
Yeah.
I do feel a little bad for him. Not that I'm a huge Mac Jones fan, but he got done dirty.
Yeah, a little bit.
He did not get a fair shake here.
Seems like he's found his place now, and I mean, how much time do we spend talking about? Hey, Kyle Shanahan really likes Mac Jones. He might trade him. Remember that was like the big rumor.
Yeah.
That, but it seems like he's in a pretty good spot. I mean, going back to that ESPN ranking rosters, they say that their best position quarterback, and they mention not only that Brock Purdy's really good, but that they have a good backup that they trust in Mac now. So good for him. Didn't work out here, but just always interesting to hear the player's perspective on these things that we talk about every week for 6 hours on Patriots Unfiltered and on the pre and post game show, and spend hours and hours analyzing. And then, a lot of times when this happens, you hear their perspective and you're like, yeah, no, we knew it. We kind of had a beat on it, even though we weren't in
That's
the
my
midst
big
of it and
takeaway.
everything, like it was, there's some specific little nuggets here and there of maybe things we weren't privileged to. But, I remember that practice, Paul, where David Andrews got up at the podium in training camp and was just disgusted. Like, you could tell, like, it just wasn't going good. And that was, what Mac relayed is, during camp, we were like, they knew, like, this ain't going to be
isn't
good this
working.
year,
Yeah.
You guys know me. It's always it's about me, and it's about us,
No.
right? It's about the show, and I
No,
always.
you guys, right from the get-go, said this is not a good decision.
But it's not about necessarily, like, predictions are one thing, because I mean, you make predictions, you're going to get
Sure.
plenty of them wrong too.
But this was a
Okay,
feeling.
But what I'm saying is, when you watch something unfold and you're analyzing it as it's happening, and you're saying this is not right and that's not right, and it looks like this is happening, and you have no idea because no one's telling you on the record that these are the things that are happening. And I always like to sort of be validated.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like I'm validated because, I knew Matt Patricia wasn't a good choice. Like, he just as easily could have been a good job. Like, predictions, whatever, like I said. But when you're watching this unfold and you're like, this is dysfunctional. They look like they're not on the same page. They look like the quarterback. Why is Bill Belichick not saying the quarterback's name? Why? Well, you're finding out that was all true. Like, that's what I kind of like when you're able to analyze something in real time, and then you find out, later that you were pretty close. You had it all
Yeah.
pretty much right.
That's sort of my prediction with the two J's.
Yeah.
I just knew the way that the body language, how they came out in the public, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right.
That's kind of I think that's a perfect comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, you don't know for sure that it's going to happen, and you're not necessarily predicting. You're just watching. You're like, this isn't right. Like, I watched, when Tom Brady was here, and the communication and the way things were unfolding, and you could see it deteriorating at the end. You saw it. You saw a difference. And then you saw a difference between rookie year Mac Jones and second year Mac Jones, the way the quarterback and the way the coach and quarterback were communicating, or in this case, really not communicating. We're watching training camp practices and we're like, who's calling the plays? We don't know.
Yeah.
They're more concerned with not. It's because they didn't know either.
And that's what Max said too. Max was like, sometimes it was Matty P early on, then it was Joe Judge. Even Bill was in calling plays sometimes.
So
as
sometimes you
well.
just watch and you look and you're like, this doesn't feel right. This is not going in the right direction. Now, I think Mac Jones is also, and I think certainly everything you guys just said. You feel a little bit for a second-year quarterback was kind of done dirty. I think two things can be true, as I've said millions of times about this. I don't really think he handled any of it well either.
Yeah.
I think he could have been a better teammate and handled it. I think he's exaggerating about the changes in the offense and things like that. I had heard stuff that he was pushing back on the offense very early in the offseason when they was first, so I'd heard behind the scenes from
asking
people
why.
telling me that he was not receptive to what was going on and he was pushing back. In other words, he didn't even give it a chance. So you can be right, which I think gets back to Jaylen Brown a little bit. He can be right in that he doesn't think the offense is running as efficiently as
but
it
were you
could
part of it
with all these
too?
three-pointers, but that's the offense, and you're supposed to try to make it work, and you're openly trying not to make it work.
You're
Yeah.
sabotaging it.
Yeah.
in
He said. I mean,
effect.
he said the same thing. I think we talked about with meetings, like who stands up in front and who speaks to the offense, and who those, just the rhythm of the weeks and how those everything unfolds with meetings and practices. I think football players and athletes in general just love to have routine and to know who I'm listening to and know what the line of demarcation is. But it gets me back to, and this kind of feeds into, and I sent you some quotes from Belichick's book. I read Belichick's book over vacation as well, and it's just, it's like, why did it all go sideways? Why was that the decision to, just stick with Matty P? And did it have to become so insular? And, we can't go outside. We can't kind of look to new voices. And, that's one of the unfortunate parts, I guess, of how that whole thing unraveled over, because 2021, felt rejuvenated. There was a point in time, I remember that Atlanta win where it's like, oh, the Patriots are back. Like, they're a problem. There was a moment in time in 2021 where, and granted, probably fool's gold at that point, that, the teams that they were beating and the style that they were doing it. But that 2022 and 2023 season, man, it was just seemed like it was circling the toilet right from the get-go.
And Bill's personality is one to, when things start to go south, to, like you said, go more insular.
Yeah.
Close that circle, because he doesn't trust anybody.
Yeah, well,
he doesn't trust anyone. He didn't trust us. He doesn't trust anybody.
Well, I mean, one of the crazy quotes I thought that I highlighted and I shared with Paul and with you, Fred, was just, Bill saying, when things go wrong in this business, it's usually about ego. And I was like, yeah. So that was just a couple other, tidbits to share if anybody wants to check it out. I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I'd like some more specific stories, and it was more kind of like, well, this is how you got to do it, instead of like a reflection. But love some Vrabel. I mean, high praise for Mike Vrabel throughout. One quote was that, Vrabel used to run the conditioning test with the defensive backs, like as a flex, because he could. And the other thing that I thought was interesting, and we talk about it a lot, was he, said, my fault on not kicking the field goal in Super Bowl 42. I was late to recognize that, and I mean, Paul's got a great rant about this too, but, late to recognize how the game was unfolding. And, we always talk about how did the game declare itself, and here it was declaring itself that, to Paul's point, the offense really hadn't been itself since maybe November. Maybe that last Steelers game, I remember I was here, they unleashed on him. But no, interesting, he said, as Bill says, his favorite saying, I effed that one up. That's one of his, he has a whole thing on, if you just say, I effed that one up, we can all move on and know who to blame. And he took responsibility for that call.
Yeah. 20 years later.
Well, 19. But
yeah, I mean,
that and Stephen Gould.
Robbie
that
Gould.
was mentioned in there. That was mentioned in there. The Robbie Gould, the lamenting Robbie Gould that was in there.
It's the thing that bugs me about that is that he makes it out to be just that game.
Right.
Like, in that game, the Giants defense was playing. Yeah, the Giants defense did play better, and they had a great plan, and we all know all what happened, but the offense had been slowing down. Mm-hmm. And he sort of, he should have been recognizing that. The week before against the Chargers, they only scored 21 points at home in the AFC Championship game. I think Brady had a few picks in that game. They had been slowing down a little bit. They had a 20-10 game late in the year against the Jets of all teams.
Teams were figuring them out.
Yeah, I mean, they had the 38-35 game against the Giants in the last game of the year, and maybe that's what he was thinking of, is like, this is the same defense. But to me, that's all the more reason to say, like, we can't expect to do the same thing we just did 5 or 6 weeks ago against this opponent.
Especially with a good coach who makes adjustments.
Right. So I just felt like, that was a 4th and 13. Come on. That was a little, that was, I thought, hubris. I thought, like, this is my offense. We haven't been stopped all year, and we're going to put our big you-know-whats on the table, and we're going to show everybody how tough we are. And I think that was just ego getting in the way again.
Yeah. That was
now 48-yard field goal. That's almost a chip shot.
Right.
Most
right.
of these
And
guys.
what he's not saying there, he's saying I effed up or whatever. And I wonder, and I'm sure he didn't get into it purposely, I wonder if that had anything to do with any kind of a lack of faith in Gostowski at the time. And I don't know. A lot of people have just automatically attached that,
That's right.
which I don't think is fair. But a lot of people, evidently Fred has attached it based on that.
Well, if you were confident in your kicker, I don't think it would be a hard decision.
Yeah. There was
It would be an easy decision.
I mean,
put the 3 points on the board.
Had he missed some recent kicks? I don't really remember him being
No, he
down
didn't
in the
really
dumps.
have it. He didn't really have any big kicks.
That's the
Yeah,
problem.
I mean,
He
right.
hadn't the opportunity.
He had the go-ahead field goal in 06
Yeah.
as a rookie, but it was, I think it was
Chargers game.
Yeah, I don't think it was a bomber. It was like 45 yards maybe. I don't know.
I was there.
It was a decent sized field goal.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that game.
That's
will
the
always
worst one,
haunt us.
right? That's
Yeah.
the worst one. It's impossible to
Like-
have a worse loss than that.
In your opinion, Paul, is that game? Does that game hurt more than any of the Super Bowls that we won? Feel good about? In other
Oh,
words, do you
that's-
feel worse about that than
yeah.
you felt good about a Super Bowl?
So that's the whole coach's conundrum, right? That's
Yeah.
when a lot of coaches say
Yeah.
it's time to get out. When the losses hurt, far more than the wins
Feel
feel
good.
good.
Yeah.
That's kind of time to get out. That one, yeah, I don't know if you would say. I mean, I would certainly trade in a win for that one because I think the undefeated nature would be so much more.
31 yards in the.
Oh, it was
Charger
only a
game.
31-yarder? Okay.
Those 14 and 16 Super Bowl wins, though, were just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the 16 one was a building type of tidal wave that you saw it coming, but in 14 was just lightning.
I know.
Hit, you know,
Well,
different amazing wins, different types of amazing wins.
Brady got the 28-3 meme popped up again yesterday with a few different places after that. After the comeback we saw here, that was what a game.
Should we go after Schefter for this? You let me know. Like, should we do a little cease and desist action?
Right.
He
No,
keeps using your logo. I don't like that.
Wasn't mine. It was 217, not 212. That's how I can always tell. If the time is not 212, it's they got it from somewhere else. But no, it's always. Anyways, you see the shootout too last night. The shootout was.
I did.
Was pretty crazy. too.
Switzerland and Colombia.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Another riveting.
Is that an
nil
upset?
tie.
Switzerland beating them? Is that an upset?
I don't know.
Paul knows the World Cup rankings. What were
I-
they?
it was funny because I don't know if you were there. It was a weird matchup. Like I've seen so many different games or parts of games, and I hadn't really seen any of those two countries playing.
Yeah.
Switzerland and Colombia. I hadn't seen any of their games previously. So I don't know which one was the better one. But that's how I figured this out. Is like when they put them up, they kind of tell you
Yeah.
like who's supposed to win. and
Zach
stuff.
in Fresno, we were talking about 28-3. He said, you know, you guys got off before Argentina's comeback win yesterday. A lot of people have compared it to 28-3. Do you think it's a good comparison?
I mean, 2 goals down in soccer seems like.
I mean,
a
I
lot.
think
Well,
it's pretty
plus there
similar.
were only 8 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
or
Yeah, I
something
think
like
it's
that?
pretty similar.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it kind of goes back to what we talked about with like your thing, Fred, about there's not a lot of like analysis that goes into like the scheme of soccer. Like you just kind of have to get a shot. And, you know, when I look at that comeback, I think about like the sacks that had to happen, the turnovers that need to, you know what I mean? There was like, yeah, it was great. Like, and it's really hard to score and, you know, all that. But I also think like you had to get more numbers of things right and you had no margin for error down the end.
Well, you know, football it's a series of plays.
Yeah.
And,
Which is
you know,
slowed down,
there's
which there
a-
might have been like this pass and this
there's
little
no
thing here,
fluidity
you know?
to it.
That
like in
makes it
soccer.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that
more
makes it
fluid.
different. But I agree. I mean, there was a million different things they had to go right for Argentina to
Sure.
win
Yeah.
that thing. Like,
Sure.
not that you're. I mean,
Yeah, it's more slow and
go-
like unfolding one by
Yeah,
a
but
time
it's
for
kind
you.
of
Whereas,
more
I mean,
just-
going all the way back to the foul call
Yeah.
20
Right.
minutes after they scored a goal.
right, and like just the perfect cross with the header on the
Yeah,
last
and
one.
the guy
It was
like
just-
Fred was all over the defense. Like,
know,
what are
he
you
called it
doing? You
before.
got a piano on your back.
Get on your
Run,
horse.
Run.
Oh my God! Yeah, but
So
that
there was a lot. That was. I mean, I think it was comparable. I
Yeah.
think to score 3 goals in the last whatever.
It was
It's
8
like
minutes.
12 minutes plus. I think it was like 78. Was it the 79th minute or so? So
It's
11
so
minutes
hard.
plus whatever they put on for extra
I
time,
can't.
which was nothing because Argentina had the lead by that time.
Yeah.
It's so-
That I don't. I know this is offending like a lot of our international listeners, but I don't know how you guys watch that sport. It's so corrupt. It's so corrupt.
I don't know how you keep track of time. That's my big thing. Like, I've grown to appreciate a lot of different things more about
have
football.
you seen the watch that
Yeah.
the
Is
these
that
guys
like-
wear? It's
yeah,
like it's
mega?
huge. It's like a mini tablet on their wrist.
I guess it's my thing where I feel like I'm so tied to time and like how much time is left and what is it. And like even when they got into the game the other night where it was in extra time and I'm like, it's still just as complicated. I can't figure out. It's just like 97. Like, that's my only
I
thing.
like when
still
there's an
struggle
injury
with.
during the stoppage time.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
are they adding more
They
time
are.
here?
They are. That's what they do.
They just don't tell you.
They try to, obviously, balls out of bounds and stuff like that, but they try to keep it as much as close to 90 minutes of play as possible.
Like legit play. Ball is
Yeah,
moving. Like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
like, so
yeah.
anytime it's out of bounds, the guy gets
Oh
hurt.
no! If it's out of
not
bounds,
that
they just
they-
no
they-
out of bounds
that's
just
good.
keeps
Okay,
going.
you
If
can't
it's an
do that.
injury or
Yeah.
like the hydration break,
Yeah,
stuff like
hydration
that,
break.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like I assume they add some if it's a goal scored.
Goal
'cause there's-
celebrations
there's a
after
celebration
goals.
takes a
Right,
while.
right.
VAR.
So that ref
reviews.
the whole time is just like a madman.
I mean, if
on
you
that
just had the
watch.
Yes.
VAR after that goal that they took away from Egypt in
Yeah.
that game, like that had to be 4 minutes alone.
Yeah.
That delay.
Well, that's
Between
a
the
lot,
celebration when the guy ripped his shirt off and they're all celebrating, and then they find out they're going,
Right.
though.
and they only added
Yeah.
4 minutes.
Well, it's like the ref union ever be like, hey, we'd like to not also be the timekeeper. Like, can we just get a timekeeper too? Like, why do I have to call all the
See,
penalties?
there's a
and
thing
I gotta
that they
keep
have.
time?
I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but there's a scoreboard, and there's a button that says on the clock, on and off. And all you have to do is when the ref blows the whistle, you turn the clock off.
Yeah.
And when the ball's put back in play, you put it on.
How many times?
That's
do you,
how
like,
they do
right,
it in
at-
the other sports.
Like at the end of the game, and it's a 1-goal game, and the team is pressing, and you're like,
But the question,
I don't know how much
the
time.
question I have, if you did that, how much longer would the game be?
If you just gave it to somebody.
Because in all our sports, the maximum is the longest sport we have is 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Basketball's 48, hockey's 60.
Right.
This is a 90-minute game.
But I could even relent to your point about like when the ball's out of bounds and it's just a throw in. Okay, so we don't have to blow the ref doesn't have to blow the whistle there. You can just leave the clock running then.
Yeah.
Just stop it when a guy is hurt. Stop it when a goal is scored.
Yeah.
Stop it if the referee has to go and look at the VAR.
Right.
You can do it.
We can figure this
I'll
out.
bet you, though,
We can figure this out.
there's a reason. Like, if you're winning, ball goes out of bounds, kind of meander over there.
Oh, it's a total strategy.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
goalie's anytime that you have a lead and the goalie gets the ball, he goes to the ground. And what do you say? He has 8 seconds to put
Right.
it back in play.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah.
8 seconds that the clock's not running.
But-
It just keeps running.
But the way that is now, at least like, if I meander, he's just going to add more time on. So I'm not really getting away with much here.
Right,
But
right.
so
Yeah.
I don't know.
They don't add any time for meandering. They only add time for injuries.
I don't know about that. I don't know. But I would love to sit down with somebody who really understands
Unless Argentina's losing.
and explain why they count up and why they do it that way.
Well, it's just, to me, it's the end of game because, any sport, it's a 1-goal game, it's a 1-score game. You're tied to the clock. I mean, especially hockey, basketball. Like, you are like 3, 2.
Did you ever see the Nate Bargatze thing? Like,
No,
how much
no,
time is
you
that?
gotta go.
Nobody knows.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I wonder what it's like as a player where you're like, I mean, I guess you can't think about the time. Like, you just have to play,
Maybe they
and
do
then
it
all of a
this way
sudden,
to
surprise,
keep
it's
room
over.
for corruption.
I did.
right.
Like
There's
if
some
the
gray
clock hits
area
zero,
going
then we
It is
have to
funny.
stop. But this way, we never have to stop.
Right.
It is funny how many different things, like, you and Evan got into your semantics argument about, like, the Americanization of soccer,
Yeah.
why can't they just use the term? But, like, it's almost like they go out of their way for everything has to be different.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a final, it's full time, right?
Full time.
Right? It's not overtime, it's extra time. It's not 0, it's nil. It's not the field, it's a pitch. We can't have the clock go down to 0. We have to have it go up to 9. Like, everything has to be different.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, you don't have to worry about it for another 4 years, Paul.
I know. That was the silver lining of the loss the other night. I guess I can go another 4 years.
Yeah, and I don't want
caring.
to belabor the whole development thing again, but I
No,
feel
no,
like
no,
my
no,
phone
no.
was listening to me, and I got fed a ton of stuff over the last 24 hours about the development programs and the models
Oh.
over there, and
Like,
you know,
I think
Especially after our game.
Yeah.
I think I said very specifically yesterday that the youth sports model in the U.S. is broken in all sports.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well,
I would never dispute that. It's broken. It could be done in a much better and more efficient way.
Yeah, I just watched a short on YouTube with Beckham, and he was being interviewed, and he said when he first came over here to play in MLS in LA, he asked the owner, either the owner of the team or the commissioner, what's the academy system like here? How many teams have academies? And at the time, none of them did.
Mm-hmm.
He said, that's got to change.
Yeah.
He goes, I can't.
The Revs Academy, is that new?
That's what he said. He said there were no academies at the time. Maybe. And
I feel like I've been hearing about the Reds
me too.
Academy for a long time.
I'm just saying what he said. And he said you have to have an academy system. That's the only way you're going to develop in your country. Because I came up through academy. Everybody I know came up through some academy system.
Right.
And he said now, and this is a recent interview, he says now every team in the MLS has an academy.
Yeah, one of the things I was fed was just that over in Europe, you're incentivized to develop players, and your program benefits monetarily when you develop good players, whereas here, it's pay to play. Everybody pays, and there's no benefit to the program if players are successful. It's just about getting money and trying to win games. So yeah, I mean, it's completely different, and that's, I think, goes back to what we've talked about of just it's so ingrained top to bottom in the culture, the
There's
whole
problems.
parameters that they have set up for it. But the other point was just relegation and promotion and how some people over there wonder with the MLS. There's you come in last place. There's no consequences. That's interesting way to look at it. I mean, we joked about relegation where Patriots were playing a relegation schedule last year.
I played the baseball league where they had that. The Boston Park League had relegation because at the time they had a junior park league, and it's called the Yawkey League now. But the champ of the Yawkey League would take the place of the team that finished in last place in the Park League.
I
relegation.
Yeah, some incentive.
Yeah, as long as you have enough teams to support that system, do it.
Yeah. I mean, hockey's going this way too, where there's academies and all these things opening up where kids are, going to basically Zoom school so that they can play hockey all the time. And, I just wonder, are these in the best interest of the players and developing the players to the best level, or is this just about give us your money and your kids can play hockey 24/7 and, maybe they'll go play D3 college and, and that's great. But some of these kids, I think, go in having pro aspirations, and it's, I just hate the fact of taking a parent's hard-earned money and selling a kid a bunch of stuff about you're going to end up in the pros if you come with us, and he has no prayer.
That was one element of this. And again, I think we talked about it yesterday. I know Alex I thought had a lot of interesting perspective as a former player about it. And I agree, like the model doesn't work. It's not the most efficient model that they could have. But I just feel like some of it is sort of overlooked. Like I think that with soccer, I think that there's still like that lack of passion. Like one of the things that people were talking about with these programs was the goal is in the U.S. is for a Division I scholarship. Why is that a bad goal? Why is that a bad goal?
It's a great goal.
Now, I understand that parents are crazy, and every parent thinks their kid's going to be a Division I athlete. That's a different issue. That's a whole different issue. But like one of the guys that wrote a long, passionate slam was a former college soccer player. I'm like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Like, does everybody that plays a sport have to aspire to be one of the 20 best and be on the national team, or whatever many you're on the U.S. national team?
Well, I guess there's nothing wrong with it, but if that's the pinnacle, then as a country, you're going to fall short.
No, I understand that. But, like, it just, we look at this as, like, in a denigrating fashion. Like, well, the goal is to go to college. And well, I mean,
college.
I know a lot of people that if they could play a sport in college and get their education paid for, feel like, we're doing all right here.
Let's do it.
It's great.
Yeah.
How much college costs these days?
All right. 855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Podcast at Patriots.com. Let's talk about anything. Nate in Connecticut, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. Good. So this is kind of early for this. Actually probably very early. But the roster cut down day is sometime in August. And, before you know it, it's going to be right there. Right before us. Do you guys have any names you want to throw out that could be on the possible cup candidate list?
Some
names that probably aren't going to be on the team this year.
So,
Mike, you have the roster there?
I do.
There's going to be about
I
at
want you
least
to name
40
the
of them.
35 guys that are going to get cut.
Yeah.
Oh, the cut.
Go.
I mean,
Otis Reese, Khalil Jacobs.
I mean, there's a ton of guys' names who I don't even know that won't be on the team.
Right.
But are you talking more like surprise cuts or? Because
I'm talking mix of anything, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
honestly,
going to be 40 guys cut about,
Yeah, I don't have a surprise off the top of my head right now. I'd have to sort of wait and see what personnel groupings start to look like a week in, and if see like a veteran who, hey, how come he seems to be running with Kyle Duggar
yeah.
last year? Hey, what happened?
Thanks, Nate.
He's not necessarily out there with, you know, with the regulars. What's going on?
I think the more interesting question is who are the depth guys that make it? Because I think when you look at the starting 11 and maybe on the offensive side of the ball, I could even go to like 14, 15, 16-ish. Who are the guys after that? Because I feel great about the starting 11 on defense. I think the defense, 11, 12 guys, I mean, locked in. Great players. Not a lot of places I feel like they need to upgrade if everybody's healthy, of course. But, who are the extra defensive linemen? Who's the extra guard? Who, the tight end? Who's going to, with Julian Hill going out, who kind of slips into that spot?
Linebacker.
Linebacker. What guy, steps into the role that Jack Gibbons had last year? So I know who the top guys are. It's just who are going to be the surprises. And I was talking on the radio this morning, same point I made with the defense of like, they're kind of stuck in nickel a little bit. I'm curious how they're going to be able to get to dime or down to base and still be really, put their best players on the field. But, that the thing that stood out to me last year was you had a lot of development from players that we haven't seen in recent years. A guy like Craig Woodson, I don't think we've seen that recently where a rookie comes in. We weren't really, we didn't really know what to expect from him. And he, pretty much plays the whole season and gets better and looks like he's playing his best football at the end. Can that happen again this year? I'm looking at the roster here and, we saw a little bit out of a guy like Leonard Taylor last year, Corey Durden, or, guys who got opportunities and seemingly going into the offseason, the coaching staff looked at them and said, we don't have to go out and address defensive tackle because I think what they're telling us is that they like these guys. I mentioned it yesterday. I know Bedard said, he thinks they like Elijah Ponder. Can he become an effective part of this defensive end rotation? So that's where the biggest intrigue to me is, is a guy like Braden Swinson come out of nowhere. Wow, year two, we didn't see anything out of him last year. That's where it's going to be interesting to me because I could probably rattle off, 30-ish of the cuts right now?
Yeah, I just don't, off the top of my head, I can't think of one that would be like a surprise cut. Like someone that you go into camp saying, this veteran, because like none of the guys that Mike just mentioned would be, okay, so Chad Muma gets cut and KJ Britt stays, or the other way around. Like, that's not necessarily a surprise. Elijah Ponder or Braden Swinson. But does, some young, I don't know, does a young
Marcus
guard,
Bryant or Caden Wallace?
Okay, so Caden Wallace. Does Caden Wallace all of a sudden ascend to a level that we haven't seen in his first 2 years? And he's like a starting caliber right guard.
Yeah.
And Mike Owenu, who's in the last year of his deal, is now expendable.
Yeah.
That to me would be a stunning cut if something like that were to happen. But you don't know that that's about to happen until you start to see it in practice every day. Like, hey, why is Caden Wallace out there instead of Mike Owenu?
That's a good way. That's a really good way to put it, I think. Not just going into camp knowing nothing that, this guy might be on the outs, but that happens all the time in the NFL where a younger, cheaper player.
Like Duggar was that guy. Like Craig Woodson had progressed to the point that none of us had sort of understood, that the coaches obviously did, and the coaches got it right. I was critical of it, if you recall. I again, not afraid to admit when you're wrong. That's why I don't really toot my horn on a prediction that's right. Like I didn't see Craig Woodson being that caliber of a starter in year one as a fourth-round pick. But he was. He was pretty steady for them all year, and I thought he got better as the year went on, and he made Kyle Duggar expendable. Yeah. And that was, sort of one of those cuts that, you might not say it was a surprise because of the contract. People kind of thought maybe he could go, but you figure those out as you go.
L'Oreal is in San Francisco. What's up, L'Oreal? L'Oreal.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for taking the call. I hate to take you guys back a little bit, but I just wanted to kind of go back to what we were talking about before to give you more context. I've been a Patch fan since I was like 9 years old, and I always think about this Bill and Brady thing that people talk about. And one of the things I always kind of think back to, and Brady was just on with the Kelsey brothers, and they asked him about Bill, and I love that he described it as Bill was the greatest coach to have, like, till Sunday, to the day of the game, because he'll prepare you for the game, right? But we've seen Bill get to a point where he was dysfunctional. If have we ever seen Brady be dysfunctional? Like that's what I always think back to when they compare that conversation, and that's where y'all took me to when y'all talked about Mac Jones when he went through. Like we saw dysfunction with Bill when age came and tenure came. If back then we would have picked Brady and maybe Bill would have left the Pats, I think that the Pats still would have been a functional team that maybe wouldn't have won another Super Bowl like he did with Tampa, but I still think we would have never saw any dysfunction as Pats fans. And that's what I always think back to when we talk about this Brady and Bill thing. I'm glad that we have them both, by the way. I wouldn't change anything about it. But that's one thing that I never hear people talk about that is always, was it Brady? Was it Bill? Was it? And to me, that's always when I said back, we've never seen Brady kind of fail. Unless, I don't know, Paul, if you want to pick it apart, Paul, if you got a different perspective.
No, I wouldn't pick it apart. I would say there was a lot of dysfunction with Brady and Belichick at the end.
Thanks, L'Oreal.
I mean, I think if you didn't, this is another one we talked about it at the time, and people push back, and then you get a documentary series that tells you, oh, no, there was plenty of dysfunction.
Yeah.
Devin McCourty and Matthew Slater would explain to you just how icy it was between Belichick and Brady. It was dysfunctional on both ends. Yeah. And it was partly Brady's fault, too. Like, I'm always critical of Belichick, but it was partly Brady's fault, too, with his insistence on Alex Guerrero and all that stuff, and him sort of funneling his receivers to his way of thinking. I mean, that's divisive. Yeah. So that's dysfunction, and some of that was Brady's fault.
I mean,
I think the lion's share was Belichick's fault, but some of it was Brady's too.
You can't have two head trainers for a team,
right?
Giving opposing opinions and ways to get better. You just can't have that. And even at that season that they were 8-0, he was the most miserable 8-0 quarterback because he saw what was going on, and in his mind, the only reason we're 8-0 is because I'm holding this thing together, and I'm tired of it, and he showed that, and of course they went 500 the rest of the season, right?
Yeah.
So, there was dysfunction that way, but because he was so good on the field, it masked it. Like so much of what he did masked things over time.
Yeah. Yeah,
human spackle.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about on the field, and I don't really remember even a game where he didn't at least make a push. He's just off the field certainly, but on the field, I think Brady.
He had his bad games, but there was always even moments in those bad games where you never lost hope.
Yeah,
you didn't lose hope because it was him.
Right.
It's just like a lot of people go into every season. When Belichick was here, like, they got Belichick, so they're always a threat. I remember Sports Illustrated picked them to finish first in the division the year they went 4-13 in Bills last year. Mm-hmm. It was the local Sports Illustrated guy. It was like Connor Orr guy, not like Peter King or something. But
Peter
still.
King. Anthony's in Seattle. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, Fred, Deuce, Paul.
Hey.
How you guys doing?
All right.
Hey.
All right.
Right. Hey, I'm off on Wednesdays, and so usually I go to the gym in the morning. So I was just finishing up yesterday's episode, listening to you guys, and so I hadn't heard the announcement that you guys would be on the air. So kind of right around the same time, Fred said it in my headphones, and then my phone chimed to tell me you guys were on the air. I'm like, oh, nice little surprise. So,
nice.
Yeah, I just wanted to call in, connect with you guys. I'm calling in. I don't got a lot, but I'm calling in today, humbly, hat in hand, requesting if I can. Love to get a hold of one of those Patriots Unfiltered T-shirts. I feel like I spend a good amount of time listening to you guys while working out. Usually got on a Patriots shirt, and I'm listening to PU in my headphones, and I got this image of me just having the PU T-shirt, sweat going, the pump, and all that good stuff. So
well, I think we can arrange that if you stay on the line, maybe. And
just might take a couple
Alex
months.
is taking over for Matt in the booth. He can get your info and.
Alex will get it out quick.
Email us at
Alex will do it right. What?
Email us at podcast@patriots.com.
Sounds great. I appreciate you guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Send us an email.
Yep.
That'll get it out to you next few months.
Okay.
combine is next year.
All right. I guess we had some audio difficulties, but we are back. We're back.
Good. Everything we said before was actually right, though.
At what point did we lose audio so that we can...
Right after the call?
I know you're giving me a thumbs up, but at what point did we lose audio? Do you know? Like, what were we talking about?
No need to repeat.
No.
Well,
Well,
although Mike,
I was about
Mike
to
had
say
a cliffhanger.
The combine has been pushed a week, but it's also the tampering period is now going to. So there's not like going to be the 2 weeks in between.
So when is the combine?
The
now?
combine's going to start Monday, March 1st, which is about a week later than it usually is.
Is it?
And then it'll wrap up that
Is
next
that
Sunday.
later?
It's a little bit.
Or is
a
it
little
just
bit.
because of the way
Yeah.
the schedule, the
Well, okay,
calendar falls?
yeah, no,
But then the tampering period's going to start whatever March 8th. So there's not going to be.
Didn't it start
that
March
2
9th
weeks.
last year?
Well, usually there was 2 weeks in between. So you would have the combine would end on a Sunday, then you'd have like 2 full weeks,
Okay.
then you'd have the tampering period start, and free agency would officially the new league year would open on Wednesday. So it's just a little more condensed. But as just that so much conversation goes on at the combine, that's going to feed directly into the start of tampering and free agency. So I think it's probably going to make the combine a little bit more hectic for the executives trying to, position everything, get all their ducks in a row. I wonder if there might be teams that pull back on the combine part of it because they don't need to be there. They're more focused on free agency, the start of the new year, and they'll get caught up on the draft. So just a slight tweak from the NFL, keeping us on our toes. That's all.
It's interesting. Anthony writes in about the dysfunction. You guys brought up a good point to the divisiveness of the team during the end of the dynasty. I'm sure there is more to it, but do you guys think the Alex Guerrero situation is the driving factor to Brady and Bill's rocky relationship? I don't know if it's the driving factor, but it was a big factor.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I think it speaks to a bigger kind of control and, as Tom grew into himself. I mean, you've heard him talk so many times about Alex Guerrero now I saw it again where, I forget what year it was, maybe 2005, where like doctors wanted to go in and do surgery and cut through the tendon in his legs. And he said Guerrero had like, an hour or two with him and he never felt that pain again. So I understand why he would be a true believer, in this guy and want to, incorporate that into the team. But I do think that was, a major point. But I think it's a bigger thing about power and influence within the organization,
Yeah.
Trying to make sure. I'm sure Tom developed a point of view that he wanted to have fulfilled, and Bill had his own.
Now, here's a little bit of trivia. Do you know who introduced Alex Guerrero to Tom Brady?
Oh, yeah.
Willie Mack.
Willie McGinnis.
That's right. I knew that. I knew that. Yeah.
People forget that.
Yeah.
Paul did.
No, it's
But also then I think Giselle was a driving factor to the division.
That's why I'm not worried about Josh Allen as much anymore. I think, and Justin Herbert too. Like if you're, dating an actress, musician, I think it's, I think that there's going to be a lot going on for those guys. I think they're going to be distracted this year. We'll get the whole crew in there now.
Let's see. Jack in Ann Arbor.
Jack.
About the developmental systems for youth sports. He says an effective model for the development of youth sports teams in the U.S. is the USA Hockey National Team Development Program. Mm-hmm. The NTDP is thriving, and it consistently produces players who graduate to major college hockey and the NHL. Other sports should use the NTDP as a model.
Yeah, soccer did in the early 90s. Had the same thing. Didn't work.
Yeah. They're expanding that too now. They're expanding to like a whole like league of teams. That will
you know how you get in that?
Yeah, does it involve money?
You pay a lot of money to play in these travel programs and these junior leagues. I actually have a family member whose nephew is actually in it right now. It's not easy. It's not easy.
No, I mean, a lot of good players. I mean, Matthew Boldy, the Hughes brothers. I mean, they certainly.
Well, the Hughes family has been instrumental in the program itself.
Yeah.
Jack Hughes' father, Jack and Quinn's father, I think Jack.
Yeah.
I think the father's name is Jack.
I mean, I kind of would like to cross this over, Fred, to your thing about flag football. Because you're talking flag football isn't, and we never really, nobody says like we need a football development system. I think everybody kind of feels like it's working okay, right? Like, does that, we have all this like we have to develop. Like football doesn't really seem to have that problem.
I think the difference that soccer needs it, and Alex makes this point. She made it yesterday in the show, and we were talking about it a little bit earlier. And I think this is where the development people have it right, and I'm a little bit simplistic, but they don't have the built-in head start with soccer that they do. Like we're ahead of everybody else, and maybe everybody else is catching up because they develop better than we do. And look at look at all the catch up that basketball has done internationally because they're doing it the same way they do soccer, and and they have the same. I would say that probably the same restraints with them with basketball in the European, because soccer is number one, so they're getting the second. So that's, to me, that's a point in the developmental column. You can do it if you develop properly. We just don't have the passion and the sort of the institutional history with the sport to overcome a bad developmental model, which I, again, fully admit is bad. And it's bad in all sports. The U.S. national development team in hockey is fine. That's great. That's not why we're good in hockey. It's not. Like, that's not why they won the gold medal. Like, I just feel like people miss that. Those kids pay a lot of money to play in those programs. And that's wrong. Like, there's got to be a better way to do it.
Yeah, I guess my only hope is that, especially in America, is that the talented kid, the special kid who doesn't come from the resources,
he gets a scholarship.
Does he? Yeah, like as long as those kids can still find their way into the professional leagues and they're not being held back just because they can't write the check to play on the team that they need to, I think ultimately you'll be okay. But
it's finding those kids and getting the exposure for them. And,
and how many kids fall in the middle?
Right.
Yeah.
How many kid might have the talent but not the money, but has enough money that he ain't getting it paid for.
Yeah. Right. And
which is, let's face it, the majority of people.
Right. And if those kids if they were able to play in the better leagues, surrounded by the better players, then they improve even more dramatically,
Quick game of Who Am I? Ready?
Who am I? I like games.
Player one.
Good time of year for games.
I played for the Patriots from 2010 to 2012.
Mike, this is you.
In my last season with the team, I had 747 all-purpose yards for the team.
Okay.
And I played running back and scored the first touchdown in Super Bowl. Is that 44, 45, 46?
Danny Woodhead.
46, Danny Woodhead.
Danny Woodhead. That's a fun story.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten it until the Super Bowl touchdown.
Player two, I was drafted by the Patriots out of North Carolina State. I played for New England from 1990 to 1994 and retired in 2000.
Oh, jeez.
Ray Agnew.
Ray Agnew was correct.
Wow. I wouldn't have gotten that one.
I'm a little proud of myself for that one.
Final one.
I think I had his football card, though. I remember that.
Final one. I won one Super Bowl with the Patriots as a cornerback. I went undrafted in 2000 coming out of Georgia Southern. Oh. Think elements when it comes to my name.
Earth, Wind, Moreland.
That's correct.
Geez. That's funny. What did you guys think of Danny Woodhead? I always thought that was like, he was actually pretty good, but he's so small.
Paul hated him. Try hard.
No, I did not hate him.
You didn't like Danny Woodhead.
I mean,
he has that vibe.
No, he was. I would
5
say
foot
out
nothing,
of all
100 and nothing.
Okay, so he filled a very specific role in Josh's offense.
Right? Didn't somebody get hurt or something? Like Kevin Falk, right? Kevin Falk got hurt. They were out of guys. I feel
Kevin Falk, I think, was gone by then. No, but if he wasn't, he was close.
Yeah.
But that was a role that they had that someone always filled. In my view, he was the least effective in that role. Like Kevin Falk, Shane Vereen, James White, all those guys were better than, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Better than Woodhead. But Woodhead filled
for a guy they grabbed off the Jets practice squad and threw him into the fire.
Yeah. Like Deion Lewis, I think, for a short period of time was better than him. Now, maybe Woodhead did it a little longer.
Yeah. So Kevin Falk, he had 2 games, 2 starts. I think that was it then for him. And they just had Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. Fred Taylor only lasted 7 games.
Fred Taylor was a disaster.
Sammy Morris was around, so he was kind of more of a
This is 2010?
This is 2010. Still have Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, who rushed for 1,008 yards with 13 touchdowns. Not a bad year. Woodhead had 97 attempts, 547 yards, 5 touchdowns, 34 receptions, 379 yards. I mean,
Woodhead filled a role.
That's what I liked. I mean, it wasn't so much the player; it was just more one of those situations I don't feel like you see very often, where you're kind of in a bind. You sign a guy off the practice squad, and he comes in, and he was productive. He did fine. It wasn't the disaster that it often would be if you had to grab somebody off another team's practice squad.
Back to the phones, 855-PATS-500. Let's go to Florida. Brian, what's up? Brian in Florida. No?
Oh, well.
Jeez.
Going once, twice?
Brian Flores.
All right.
I like the games.
No Brian in Florida.
Ray Agnew. That was a good one.
That's a good
Another
one.
topic we've been talking about in the past, and we talked about yesterday, was jerseys. Bart in Poland, question especially for Paul. Is it that wearing jerseys as a whole isn't for you, or is it the fact that you wear a jersey with another man's name on it?
No, the other man's name doesn't really. Yeah, that doesn't
bother me. I
doesn't
almost
bug
think
me.
having your own name on it is a little bit
I
weird to me.
kind of agree. Like
You
that's
know?
not a big part of it for me. I just think it's weird wearing uniforms.
I have no problem with
now,
it.
if
at
you
a
wear
game.
it to a game,
Yeah.
and again, basketball excluded. I don't think you should wear a uniform to a basketball game. I think
top,
the tank tops, that looks silly to me. But if you wear a Drake May shirt to a Patriots game, I don't have any. I don't have any issue.
I
with
think
that.
one of the coolest things to wear is a nice baseball shirt, nice button baseball shirt.
Yeah.
I just won't have it with somebody's name on it.
Yeah. No,
But I think those are cool shirts to just wear around.
I have a really cool one. It was one of the few times I've won something at an auction. It was like end of Holy Cross, and they had like a vintage Holy Cross baseball jersey, and I won the raffle.
Should I wear my BU baseball uniform?
Well, that's a real one. That's a real one. I'd like to see it, though. I would like to see you in it. I got some compliments on that. Like, it's, the old school kind of baseball shirts. I like that. I had no problem in a game. Like, out and about, and it's like every day I got to wear a jersey. That might be a little too much for me.
Right. I mean, that's I guess my pushback is like these people that wear them like all the time. Like,
So when it came to clothes, including uniforms, were the 70s the worst decade ever?
by worst, you mean the best?
Yeah.
No, I mean the worst.
I think they were awesome.
Ugh.
Especially in football and baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some misses for sure, like the San Diego
Astros.
Padres. I mean, those were
Pittsburgh
bad.
Pirates.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Oh,
And all the different combinations.
awful.
Like the
and
vein-
they
Awesome.
were wearing pullover shirts. Like they weren't even, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Well, it's hard to know now because now bad is awesome. Like the bad stuff, that was so terrible. It's awesome. That's how I kind of feel about that stuff now.
Yeah,
But
Fred and I have always been on opposite ends
Yeah.
of the spectrum on that one.
well, I think like a lot of people like the Titans
those-
new
those are your
uniforms
heyday.
too, and they
Those are
feel
your
like
disco days.
those are kind of back to the simplicity design. There
Whose?
isn't, the Titans new uniforms. They've kind of gone back to those Houston red and light blue kind of color scheme a little bit. I know there's a lot of big fans of those. But going back to more of the simplicity, not like the dramatic weird lines and cut of the jerseys and stuff.
All right.
Shakira.
Let's take a break. See if there's any. We got to get these people to update their reads. It's all the same reads, so you know all the messages. Toyota, Bob's Discount Furniture, Bridgestone, right? Brunt. We love Brunt.
Love Brunt.
And Bud Light. It's easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the New England Patriots. Those are our sponsors. Thank you.
Reached the shortest one.
Let's go.
Come welcome our newest restaurant additions at Patriot Place. Estella brings a celebration of flavors with a modern fusion menu, exciting cocktails, and brunch available daily beginning at 11 a.m. Enjoy freshly brewed coffee and Mediterranean-inspired breakfast and lunch from Angel's Cafe. Craving the classics? Chick-fil-A makes it easy to grab your favorite with mobile through, carry-out, and dine-in options. Download the Patriot Place Advantage app for special offers and to earn rewards every time you visit. Patriot Place. Shop, dine, enjoy.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
There's enough needless nonsense in the world already. Your phone plan shouldn't add to it. Verizon's new Simplicity plan cuts down on the nonsense in your life. Now there's just one plan, one price. $30 a line per month, even for a single line. And everyone gets our best 5G network. It's a phone plan designed to do exactly what a phone plan is supposed to do. Isn't that a lot simpler? Switch today at Verizon.com or at your nearest store. For new customers, $30 per line includes auto pay and switch discount. Additional taxes, fees, and terms apply. Unlimited data is restricted to on-device smartphone usage. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
And welcome to another edition of Pats from the Past podcast. It's Matt Smith alongside with Paul Perillo. And we are really pleased to be joined by number 80 on your scorecard, but number 1 in our hearts, at least for today, the great. And I'm not, we overuse the word great a lot of times. We're not overusing the word here.
Using it today.
Is Irving Fryer. Irving, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Matt, it's my pleasure. I don't get a chance to come back this way too often, but I'm here to watch the game today. I'm here to cheer the Patriots on. I'm also get a chance to see my son and my grandchildren because they're up here in Boston.
That's great. Is that the impetus for coming back here? Because it's you're. I mean, I
just came back just to be on the show.
No, right. I mean, like, what was your impetus? Because it's great when some of the people, like, there's a lot of people Irving in this area, and understandably so, who think the franchise started in 2001, and that's not the case.
No.
You know, so when somebody like you comes back here, you're literally franchise royalty. What was the impetus to come back here?
Well, the impetus to come back was an email that I received from the Patriots organization inviting some of the alumni back.
Awesome.
They put together an opportunity, a program, or an event, I guess you could call either one of those, for us to come back and have a space for us where we can bring a couple of guests. And I'm still good friends with Tony Collins. We stay in contact with one another. He came several weeks ago, and I think he brought like 19 cats with him, and they all had Tony Collins jerseys on. And I saw that. He posted it. I saw it. I called him, and he told me about it. So I responded to the email, got in touch with Jeff, talked with Kate, and here I am.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. So, first of all, what are you up to now? Before we get into memory lane, you know, what have you been? Yeah, I mean, you look like you could still play. Matt and I were joking with you before
10
we
snaps
started.
for sure.
You look like you could get out and jump in the X spot right now and run 10 go routes, no problem.
Well,
what are you up to?
I still do work out, and I work hard. So I'm working hard. I had some surgery a little while ago. I had a stone in my bladder. And yeah, that was a bad experience. So I'm doing the best that I can to stay as healthy as I can. And part of that is working out. But what I'm doing now, I've been doing the past, 25 years now almost. And I'm still pastoring.
That's great.
I'm actually pastoring at 2 different churches now, but I'm still doing that. I can't get away from it. I can't run from it. I tried several times, trust me. And it is what it is. It's a calling that you become a prisoner to, as the Apostle Paul says in Scripture, and you can't get away from it. So I'm enjoying it. I love loving people, and we need love more than anything in today's world.
Yep.
You know it better than I do.
Yep.
So I do podcasts. I do some analysis with the Eagles down in Philadelphia. But most of my work, most of my attention, most of my focus is with the church and winning souls.
That's great. So let's go down memory lane, Irving. And I don't think a lot of younger people would remember.
No,
and you're in a fraternity that's pretty select.
Very small.
There aren't many wide receivers that were selected number 1 overall in the draft. I know Keyshawn's one of them because I can remember that.
That was after me.
Right. And there's another gentleman whose name I can't remember, I think from the 60s.
Yeah.
You're the number 1 pick in the NFL. What was that like for a kid coming out of Nebraska from South Jersey? What was that like at the time to be the number 1 pick overall?
Well, it wasn't the pomp and circumstance that you have now, with all of the celebration and they sell tickets to the draft now, and there's thousands of people that show up in whatever city they're having the draft. It wasn't like that. When I was drafted, I actually signed my contract before the draft, and probably by the time the draft came, I had spent like $25,000. But the day of the draft, they sent a car down to New Jersey, picked myself and my mother up. We went to the draft. They announced it. We did an interview. We got back in the car and went back home. That was as exciting as it was.
That's unbelievable.
But there's something interesting that I kind of just realized maybe several months ago. I was doing an interview and began to talk about it and thinking about being drafted as the number 1 pick, but I was drafted as a wide receiver. I was a wingback in college.
Right.
So as a wingback in college, my one-on-ones in practice were in a 3-point stance, blocking down on defensive ends or blocking linebackers. My one-on-ones in practice never at Nebraska were me standing up or even split out, running routes against a defensive back. So the first time I had ever run a route against a defensive back standing up was my first day in training camp. I had never done that before. And man, I got my behind whooped quite a few times because Raymond Claiborne and Ronnie Lepet, those guys did not play. They were great cornerbacks, and I had to face them every day. So it was a learning curve for me that was pretty long. It took me a minute to get my feet up underneath me to learn how to be a wide receiver. And we didn't throw the ball that much. So, and I really didn't become, I feel, a good receiver until I went to Miami.
Right.
Yeah, where they focused on throwing the ball.
Sure.
So what was your experience like? You mentioned the guys on the defensive side, but you had a pretty good wide receiver on the other side in Stanley Morgan.
Yes.
So what was it like sort of trying to pick his brain a little bit?
Well, here's the story behind Stanley. So, yes, I come in, I'm a wingback. I don't have a clue as to what I'm doing at the wide receiver position. So I know Stanley's here. I've heard of Stanley. I've actually watched him several times in games. And so I'm figuring I'm going to get some tutelage from him, and he's going to help me out. Well, when I got drafted, Ron Myers was the head coach.
Yep.
Ron Myers was falling out with Stanley Morgan. They both were having a falling out. I think Ron was trying to get rid of Stanley. So when I came in, Ron put me at the same position as Stanley. So I was a threat to Stanley. He and Ron were going at it. I'm on the same side. So Stanley didn't talk to me. He didn't say a word to me. Halfway through my rookie year, Ron Myers gets fired. Raymond Berry comes in. Raymond Berry takes me and he puts me on the other side of Stanley. So now Stanley and I are playing at the same time rather than me playing and Stanley on the side or Stanley playing and me on the sideline. But the damage had already been done. So Stanley still wasn't talking to me. So my whole rookie year, and I don't blame him, but my whole rookie year, Stanley didn't say a word to me. Not one single word, because I was a threat to him.
Matt, we're not even 10 minutes in, and you're sort of finding out why the Patriots struggled so much.
I saw one coach after another.
Yeah.
From Ron Myers to Raymond Berry to Rod Russ to Dick McPherson. I mean, it was one right after the other.
So how did that ice, or did that ice ever get broken, Irving?
It did get broken. Probably more so the latter part of my second season. You know, we had that big run and we went to the Super Bowl and lost the Super Bowl. So that year, things kind of came together for us. But it was, again, most of the damage that I was doing was on special teams. As a punt returner. Yes, I did catch a few passes, but Stanley was the go-to guy.
Yeah.
So most of my learning came from just watching Stanley. We really never did sit down and him instruct me or teach me or help me in that manner. Most of it came from me just watching him and learning that way, going out and trying to do it myself.
And now, great moments in history.
After slogging my way through the Major League Baseball Challenge discussion without jumping in front of busy traffic,
I'm sorry.
Paul mentioned something that made me think. What is everyone's favorite sports arguments to have? I'm friends with a few lawyers, so arguing is always what we're doing, but some of our best always revolved around whether Brady was a system quarterback or not. What are everyone's favorite or most enjoyable sports arguments to partake in?
I mean, that's a dumb argument. Like, how many systems did he play in?
You have dumb friends.
Yeah, like...
Dumb lawyer friends. I'm glad. If I ever need a lawyer, I'm not calling your friends.
Anyways, the one that I love the most is, like, the eras of athletes. Like, if you were to put, like, Bill Russell and Bob Cousy in the NBA today, like, would they hold up? Would they be good? Or would they be like out of the league? Like not even competitive.
And I think I love that argument too. But the thing that sometimes gets lost in that, you have to be fair and say Bill Russell, born today, gets the same nutrition, the same training, the same everything.
No.
And then I
Just
think,
drop
he
him
would
in.
be good. If
I
you just
think-
drop him in, no.
I think Bill Russell would still be good no matter what.
Okay.
Because because especially the way the game's played now, like,
well, he's old and he's dead.
Well,
Is he old or is he dead?
That's another great moment from
Here in Patriots Unfiltered, 855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Podcast at patriots.com is the email address. Kind of an open forum today.
It's popping off out there, Fred. They're getting ready for that World Cup game tomorrow. It's just a slew of activity. It's very, very exciting. And I was wondering, how quick you think they get the grass out of there? Like how quick they put the turf back?
I think Friday.
Yeah,
they'll start taking it out.
It'll be like after the Jets loss in 2006.
Yeah.
It'll be like, get it out of here.
It's going to be, you talk about busy.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of busy bees ripping things apart and putting things back together.
Signage.
Starting on Friday.
Think we get our couches back on Friday?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
How about some Diet Pepsi?
Yeah. Paul.
The whole stadium's Coke right now.
I know.
Yeah. I would take a Diet Coke. I can't find one of those either.
I can't
I'm sorry, Freddie. I'm sorry.
All right, 855-PATS-500. Let's get back to the phones. We'll start. Brian in Florida is going to give it another try. What's up, Brian? Brian. Oh,
Booby.
2 strikes and you're out. Wow.
Something tells me he's got us on mute.
Either that or he's at work and he can't. Right. His boss just walked by. Sean's in Vancouver. What's up, Sean?
Yeah.
Something
tells me there's another issue.
What?
More phone stuff.
There it is. Oh, there he is. What's up, Sean?
Oh, we're back. Okay, good. All right. So you were talking about the World Cup game yesterday with Colombia versus
Switzerland.
I can't remember. Switzerland, right?
Yeah.
So I was here in Vancouver, and like throughout the week, there's like all these parades with Colombian bands just closing traffic, and it was insane. Like I was at a grocery store, and the manager comes over and says, "No more deliveries. There's no trucks can get anywhere with the traffic." It was insane. So I didn't really watch it. I didn't care about that game, but I'm coming out into a hotel, and I can see by all these Colombians just their reaction. They're no longer celebrating. They're just more somber. Oh, I guess there was a big upset today. So I saw that after the game. So that was kind of a strange World Cup experience for me. But in terms of the Patriots, Bart yesterday was, or actually I heard it this morning because it was on 22. He was talking about bringing in the tight end, where Vrabel said he's going to bring in another tight end. And he was saying, well, I think, they'll probably wait until the end of August and see what they have. So, but my question is more detailed. Are they going to wait and see what they have in terms of someone like Tanner, if he can be a blocking tight end, or are they going to also maybe consider, well, what's our role with Raritan? Does he look like he's going to be okay as a second tight end, or are we just going to have him more kind of red shirt and see what he's at before they decide to bring in someone else? So I'll leave you with that.
Okay, thanks, Sean.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I mean, I loved it when they had Julian Hill because it just felt like they had all their bases covered. You got reliable veteran Hunter Henry. It was great chemistry with Drake May. You've got Julian Hill, who not only is tough guy and can block and bring some attitude, but I think he could also, if Hunter Henry got hurt, you could put Julian Hill in there and he could give you some snaps and it wouldn't be too much of a drop off. After that, there's really a void, and I mean, I'd love to say that that's going to force Raritan into the mix, but I think you're a Hunter Henry injury away from you can't do that to Raritan right out of the gate.
Do you think they'll wait till the end of camp?
I don't think they'll wait till the end of camp. I don't either. Though. I think they got to get somebody in there.
Well, I guarantee. I don't know if I guarantee, but better chance than not that somebody will become available who we haven't thought of right now.
And maybe they sign somebody as a camp body, and then someone shakes loose on cutdown day, and that maybe fills the need a little better.
I don't think they'll wait that long.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think they'll get someone in here for camp, or at least early in camp, so he can actually have a chance to
assimilate.
I mean, Farrell Brown. I don't. He's what is he? He's 32.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who it's
But he's
going
a
to be.
big, tough dude.
But I'm just saying, if you want a guy, if you feel like you need somebody to be on the roster, I don't think you want to wait till the end of camp.
Yeah,
You want to bring someone in so we can learn the offense.
Yeah, but I mean, if it was a Jonnu Smith or I mean, I'm blanking on what year Farrell Brown was here. I don't think he crossed paths with Josh McDaniels. I think he was like 22 or 23, somewhere in there, right after he left. But Jonnu Smith had some experience, and I just think he's more of kind of like Hunter Henry. But I don't know. They brought both those guys in before, and they saw some kind of way they could work together. I mean, it's not the craziest thing in the world.
Yesterday, I was talking about how I admire the skin of the Scandinavian people. And I
recall.
I included Finland and the Netherlands in that, and I'm being corrected by Simon from Denmark.
Well, I didn't remember you saying the Netherlands.
He says the Netherlands and therefore the Dutch, I might have said the Dutch, aren't part of Scandinavia. Neither is Finland, but Denmark is. And as we didn't qualify for the World Cup, I hope Norway wins it all. So I'm just talking about that whole North Sea region.
Yeah, sure.
They have good skin. It's pure.
Yeah.
It's. I don't mean the color. I mean no acne.
Yeah, not a lot of sun.
I haven't ever seen anyone with a pimple.
That was my line yesterday.
Right.
Yeah. So
safe. There's no UV line.
No, it's funny. I saw
maybe that's it. There's no sun. It never comes out.
I saw a funny meme that was
Not
like
true.
a guy on England who
It's
looked
not
like
true.
the prototypical English player. I don't know who. I forget what his name is. I'm sure people know. But there was, it was just the English guy, and then Holland, who looks like the prototypical Viking. And it just looked like if you were gonna, line up these two prototypes from these two different places, these guys kind of embody it completely.
Do you know that Holland not technically, I mean, he can play for England if he wanted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was born in England and grew up in England.
Oh, okay.
To Norwegian parents.
Uh-huh. Right. Well, his dad was on the team, right? I've seen
Yeah.
a bunch of pictures of his dad was previous on.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a machine.
So he could just as easily have played for England, but he opted to play for Norway.
Yeah, it's been fun watching the really talented guys. I mean, I think that's been what I've enjoyed the most of this World Cup is cluing in on. I mean, seeing Messi still doing it at a high level, and just seeing Holland the way he plays.
Can I ask you a soccer question, Fred?
Okay.
So I didn't know that about Holland. If he played, if he had played for England, how could that work with him and Harry Kane?
It's true. They kind of play the same position.
They both the strike.
Like, would they be able to? Can you do that in soccer? Can you
strikers.
find a way to have two really gifted?
Well, I don't know if they're gifted,
Alex
but
here for this,
the U.S. employed the dual striker system.
Okay, so that's why I'm asking.
You can
Because
do
this
it.
is the stuff I don't know.
You can do it, but how much is? I mean, Kane plays back, and I think both of them play defense.
Yeah.
But like a guy like right now, Ronaldo, he ain't playing any defense. And that's one of the problems with him in Portugal. Messi, he'll play back. He plays a little defense.
Yeah.
But how much are you giving up by having two strikers? I don't know, but that would be a good problem to have, huh? Harry Kane and Erling Haaland on the same team.
And now, was Harry Kane a big Patriots fan? Do I have that right? I've seen.
He was a big Brady fan.
Brady fan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Christian Gonzalez, I think, wore his uniform into one of the games.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Harry Kane is
his kit.
He's associated with the
My
Patriots.
bad.
Yeah. I've seen a little bit of that.
Harry Kane.
As he should. Harry Kane. Hello, mate.
Anthony writes in, years ago when Dion Lewis was on the team, I had an hour-long argument with my friends because I said he was one of the most elusive backs in the NFL.
Oh, man.
They
He
insisted I was wrong and that I was wearing my Patriots goggles. They're Giants fans. It wasn't until years later, his highlight touchdown against Dallas, that my friends finally agreed with me. The vindication was excellent.
Years later,
Yeah.
the touchdown against Dallas. How many years did he play for the Patriots?
In their defense,
Like 3.
I once said Aaron Dobson was going to be the guy.
That's I appreciate the late self-deprecation of that
For
email.
a brief moment in time, when I say brief moment, I mean like a span of 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
Dion Lewis was
Electric.
the most elusive man in the NFL for that small period of time.
gotta see if
It
I
was
can-
amazing what he was doing.
I don't know about NFL, but he was electric for a short period of time here.
Yeah.
He was very, very productive.
Because it was knee injuries, right? Like he had
He tore his ACL,
and then
yeah.
he came back
I mean,
and he
to
tore
do
his
what he did,
ACL.
And then he
course,
wasn't
yeah.
the same.
He was
He
never,
tore his ACL against Washington in the middle of one of those seasons, and he was really never the same. But he had that game against Houston in the playoffs. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
A 3 touchdown game.
Yep.
I think he had a kickoff return in that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was never. I was just looking at like his. I mean, it was really that 2018 season. He had that was where that Dallas game was. Or maybe that wasn't that Dallas game. No, I guess it was. Sorry. Yeah, but no, I mean, just so many of his seasons were just cut short by injury.
All right, Brian must really have something he wants to
Come on,
talk
Brian,
about.
let's
It's
do
the
this
third
thing.
time. Brian in Florida, what's up?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm calling because I've been working on something that I wanted to run by some sports guys, and you guys are probably the best sports guys to talk to about this because you're Tom Brady people. So basically, you know how people talk about who the GOAT is, and it's pretty much undisputed that Tom Brady is the GOAT in terms of quarterbacks. LeBron versus MJ, everyone debates these things. So I created a tool that I was hoping you guys could give me some critical feedback on.
All right.
It measures the best quarterback. So it's.
I have a tool
Is
too,
it okay
my
if
two
I-
eyes. But anyway, go ahead.
Is it cool if I give you my website?
Yeah, sure, as long as it's, not
good.
porn.
Are we trying to determine who the best quarterback is by numbers?
Yeah.
I'm out.
Paul's out.
Yep. So it's decisionvision.com.
Decision Vision. Okay.
.com.
Yep. And then there's a sports section. Thank you, sir. If you go to the sports section, there's a calculator called NFL GOAT. And it's got 16 factors on there that you can choose, and then you rank those factors to actually come up with a real number. And so what I'm asking you about is the factors. I want better factors. I think I have pretty good ones, but there's a couple on there that I think like what matters to real sports people as to who the actual best is, and like what am I missing? Because I'm just starting this out, and I want to get it to be really great.
I mean, it's to me, for a quarterback, it's how you perform in the most critical situations. Forget about playoffs, but third down, third and long,
fourth quarter comebacks,
and then playoff games. Now, a lot of players don't have that opportunity, but
I agree. I agree with you guys, and it's more like the reason why. And I was half joking when I said I'm out, but I just don't think there's formulas that to pick something that's so subjective. Fred and I can watch something and think one thing. Mike might watch the same thing and think something totally different. And that's the beauty of sports. It's if it was just about numbers, you wouldn't need three idiots to come on for your lunch day and tell you what happened. You could look at the scoreboard yourself. It's one of my biggest pushbacks with Mike Felger and Tony Maserati when I go on. We're slaves to the scoreboard. But what do I need you for? Yeah. I can read the paper and figure out who won too. I don't even have to watch the game. But I think there's a different thing that happens during the course of the game. Fourth quarter comebacks. Yeah, I can tabulate all the fourth quarter comebacks. They're not all made the same. One fourth quarter comeback down 4, needing a touchdown, like say in Cleveland in the AFC Championship game in terrible weather when nothing's going right, that John Elway takes a team 98 yards, means a hell of a lot more to me than a guy who threw like one crossing route over the middle and they kicked a 50-yard field goal to win.
Right.
They're both fourth quarter comebacks. Right. But my eyes and my experience need to differentiate those two things.
Right. The context.
Yeah. Exactly. You're hitting on exactly why I created this calculator, because all these numbers don't mean anything if you don't actually rank the statistics in terms of what you care about. And the actual result changes. Whereas, if you factor certain things, Drew Brees comes up as the best. And if you factor in things like fourth quarter comebacks, probably Tom Brady factors into that. So I was hoping you guys could take a look at my calculator. It's pretty, I think, revolutionary for the conversations that people are having around who the best is.
Okay.
I understand statistics, but this actually does the calculations for you by taking the things that you care about and ranking those things that you care about, and then applying it to the actual statistics. So it's not perfect, but it can get us a lot, like where we have conversations around statistics, this can actually center it, and you can actually manipulate the data to show you who the best is.
Okay, so right now,
I'll take a look at it.
Do you have a conclusion right now? I know you can change it, but right now, who's the leader of the pack?
So it depends on how you measure it. There's 16 total factors to choose from. You can use up to 8. And if I were to use like Super Bowl MVPs, Super Bowl winning percentage, passing touchdowns, all those things factor together, and you get Tom Brady, easily Tom Brady. But believe it or not, when you factor in MVPs and the winning percentages, Pat Mahomes is number 2. He actually beats out Eli Manning. So it really depends on how you actually, what you weigh more. So if you weigh Super Bowl wins first, Super Bowl MVP second, Super Bowl winning percentage third, and then passing touchdowns fourth, Tom Brady is number 1, Pat Mahomes is number 2, Eli's 3, and so on and so forth.
You keep saying Eli. You mean Eli, not Peyton? Eli Manning?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the 2 Super
Bowl
wins. Yeah, so that
he wouldn't even
right
be in
now,
my he wouldn't even be in my database.
Right, it's flawed. I mean,
right.
That he can't be better than John Elway
Or his brother.
Joe Montana or Peyton Manning.
I mean, Peyton won 2 too.
Yeah, right. So one of them he won. He was there. He was on the team.
Fred, he won 2.
I know, but that's the point.
They don't
of
win
context.
that without him.
That's
If they kept Brock Osweiler playing quarterback, they ain't winning that Super Bowl.
Okay, but
so this debate can be solved. Everything that we're talking about right now you can actually plug in the factors that matter to you. I chose 4 factors that you don't agree with. If you go back and you choose the factors that actually do matter to you, then you can actually see.
I'm going to take a look at it after the show, Brian. Absolutely. Divisionvision.com.
Send me it.
Right?
Decisionvision.com.
Decisionvision.com. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at it, Brian.
Do you have the same for basketball?
Dude, that's the cool one. The LeBron versus MJ versus everybody.
Right.
That's in there too. NBA, NFL, tennis, UFC. I got all of it on there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, I
Thanks
think
for sharing.
Now, what's your background? Are you like a data analyst, or what's your background?
Yeah. So basically, I create incentive systems for sales teams to determine who deserves the best leads. So what we would do is take a whole sales team and measure all the things that a salesperson does in terms of productivity and how hard they work. And actually, we created lead allocation systems based on a power ranking. So I took that same logic of power ranking salespeople.
Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross.
You 3 are out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Always closing.
ABC.
ABC.
Oh, coffees for closers.
Okay. All right. Well, Brian, that's cool. We will check it out and we will.
If you have any
we will review it, and I'm sure Evan will hate it, but that's okay.
Evan will absolutely despise
because
it
he didn't come up with it.
Right.
But that's cool. I'm glad you
if he
stuck it
uses
out.
his factors, he'll like it. He has to choose his own factors. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you pick comebacks.
All right, brother.
All right, thanks. See, I wouldn't include Super Bowl wins.
So
I don't think that's fair.
I don't mind including Super Bowl wins. Super Bowl winning percentage to me doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because I think you're penalizing someone for achieving more.
As we always
in other words,
Joe Montana wins every time if you do.
Right.
No, but what I'm saying is like Peyton Manning, Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning's 2-1. Eli Manning's 2-0.
Yeah.
What's the bigger accomplishment? Getting to 3 and winning 2, or only getting to 2?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Like, I've never understood the argument, and this has been put to rest because Brady put it away with 7 titles.
Yeah.
But, like, Brady was always banged for the Super Bowl losses that Montana didn't have. Like, I would much rather go 10 times and lose 3 than only go 4 times and win all 4.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but it's interesting. So we'll take a look.
Like why the conference championships don't matter, because Joe Montana got knocked out of the playoffs before he got to the Super Bowl.
Right.
He has just as many playoff losses as everybody else.
Yep.
And I like Joe. This is not slamming Joe Montana, but I'm just saying it's a little flawed to go by Super Bowl winning percentage.
But like just the eye test. John Elway was probably the best.
John Elway is the answer to the question for me.
Yeah,
he's the best.
Like, the arm, the running, everything.
Mm-hmm.
He
the
had
amount
it all.
that he had to do. This is why I say I don't really like mathematical formulas to determine these things because you're wrong, Mike. And let me tell you why.
The number right here, there, boom, argument over.
I think Freddie, and this is one that I feel comfortable with because I know Freddie feels the same way. But like when you watched a guy do so much for the team. And you knew, like, you take that guy out, this team is very pedestrian. There's no number to put, there's no qualifier, there's no stat that says, well, you know what? Well, actually, Brady meant more to his team. Like, you can't quantify it. You just have to sort of experience it and see it. And like, wow, that team would really be nothing if it wasn't for those kind of clutch performances.
They made a big deal about the three amigos at Denver. And those guys weren't that good. Elway made them good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Rodney's in Foxborough. What's up, Rodney?
Hot Rod.
Why don't you just come by?
I'll drop in.
We're in lockdown.
Yeah.
First, I love that Paul complimented the name and then immediately did not have the correct name right afterwards. So that was that.
No, yeah, no, that's true. I did. I butchered that. I did.
Yeah. But
Decision
so I've been
vision.
listening since 2011, and this is my first time calling. What I want to call, I actually want to hit on a couple things quickly. One, I think the cultural thing on soccer is totally it. I actually grew up the first 8 years of my life in Paraguay, so that was a pretty thrilling game. The World Cup's always been so much fun for me to watch, but I feel like it's just we don't in the U.S. we really don't play like soccer. We don't really. It's like we don't emphasize things like kicking a ball. So I feel like not that you can't, but there's just so many other things that we have to play. So I mean, it's been hit on, but I just felt like Alex, I feel like hit it pretty well in culture, and I think Mike was saying something similar. So. And even when I was there, I mean, I was a big American kid, so they put me in goal. They basically didn't want anything to do with me kicking a soccer ball around either. So, anyway, that was just one thing that I wanted to chime in on that. But then also, Fred, Mr. Bossman, I need you to get Alex on the show all the time. I feel like she adds so much to the show. I was hoping that she was going to be on today, but I think Paul's hit this a bunch of times. She knows a lot about a lot of things, and I feel like she brings a different side of the conversation. I know she might have other things, but I gotta believe you got the power to get her on the show every time.
She can come on anytime she wants. She's busy. She's got other things that she has to do.
Yeah, she's actually doing a lot of writing right now as we speak.
Yeah, Paul's got
so a lot of it.
That's my fault.
There's some conflicts there in terms of scheduling, but she's welcome to be here anytime.
You can't free that up for her?
Like if there's a community thing that she has to go to, they're not going to change, Drake May coming to the Boys and Girls Club because of Patriots Unfiltered. Yeah.
That's usually Tuesdays.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
But anyway, she adds a ton to the show, so I love having her perspective on the show. Plus, she's really the only real good reason to log in and watch the YouTube.
And she's much better to look at, that's for sure.
He just basically said that.
Yeah.
I may or may not have said that. I know she's spoken for, so I was going to try and keep it as PG as possible. But
I don't see a ring on her finger.
Great show. And I had some other things to add that I'll do at another time. Fred, I emailed you last week and didn't get read, so I'll have to work on my my content to figure out how to get that read next time.
All right. Thanks, Rodney. Rodney and Foxborough.
I was messing around on decision vision. So there's a lot of different things. It's not just football. There's all kinds of different things that you can use this for. So I was just messing around with a little bit. I just said I did Defensive Player of the Year award, career interceptions, career sacks, career approximate value are my 4 factors, and it gave me Charles Woodson as number 1. It's not only quarterbacks, so you can do different things too.
Okay.
Anyway, continue your site.
What about Star Wars characters?
Oh, now here we go. Let's we gotta see if we can log into that one.
I'm more out on that than I am.
We're talking about MJ and
homes
LeBron.
and vehicles. We could do Speed Queen. We could put Speed Queen to the test.
Yep. Wash your dryers. Morgan wants to know, where should LeBron go?
Either Cleveland or Miami. I'll say Cleveland, just to sort of put a bow on the career.
Cleveland or Miami? Sure. That's nice. I like that.
That's nice.
Especially because I was just in
Would
Cleveland.
you welcome
and I thought it was
him
great.
here in Boston?
I don't really want any part of him, no.
You don't want any part of him?
Is that a possibility? Is that being discussed?
It's like he has to play.
LeBron hates Boston. He won't come here. He thinks Boston's super racist.
Yeah, there's no way they're spending the money on
Being
him.
Bronny? I want Bronny. Can we get Bronny?
Bronny.
Okay.
I did like Pat Riley putting his foot down. No Giannis brothers in Miami.
You guys want to do a movie one on Decision Vision? We can
Sure.
pick some factors. All right, let's
okay.
do. So you got to pick what genre you want. You want like drama, horror, comedy, faith.
What's the end goal? The best movie?
This is gonna be best movie
Best
based on
movies.
our factors. You want to do a comedy movie?
Why do
or-
you have to pick a genre?
Well, those are the factors that we can pick here. We got about.
So that's not giving me the best movie. It's
we got
giving me
about
the best
16 factors.
whatever the genre is.
Right. Well, we could not include a genre if you'd like.
Don't include the
Oh,
genre.
that's
we could
allowable?
Do it genre free.
I'll throw out the 16 things. You guys tell me what we can include.
How many
of
do we
them.
get
We
to-
can do four
four
of
of
them.
them.
So, drama, short runtime, total Oscar wins, online interest, included on Netflix, on YouTube paid, action adventure, horror, faith, recent release, worldwide box office, free to stream right now, included on Hulu, included on Prime.
No.
Sci-fi.
Can
or
we
comedy.
only just do one category then?
You want to just do comedy?
Yeah.
See what the best.
See what the best comedy is.
Let's see if we can do that. I don't know if we can. No, you got to choose three. You got to choose three on this one.
What are the three most nondescript? Because I don't really care. I mean, I'm sure that all those factors are important, like
What does
Hulu
big
and
What's the best comedy horror?
Netflix, recent release, whatever runtime. I'm sure those things are important, but I don't care about them.
Worldwide box office. Let's throw that in there.
Yes,
And,
I don't like. I'm trying to figure out what the best
online
movie is, not
interest.
the one that made
I
the
don't
most
know what
money.
that is. We're gonna do, and a short runtime is the last one. How about that? Let's just see what it gives us. We're doing comedy, worldwide box office, online interest, and short runtime, and calculate. And the winner is Minions.
Okay.
Fred's facial expressions are speaking volumes.
All right. We have to tune that up a little bit.
All right, we're gonna need some
We need more
Patriots
factors.
games.
We need more
Let's
factors.
go, emailers. We need some games.
Reno writes in.
Reno Hightower.
I know y'all don't like to wear jerseys with another man's name on it, but for me, I don't care what you think. I find joy in buying and wearing jerseys of players I love. The one thing I hate from fans, and he has fans in quotes, are the ones who have multiple teams in the same league. I've known a few people who say they have an NFC and an AFC team. To me, if you have multiple teams, you're not a real fan. Stay loyal to your one team. What do you think? Also, I'm excited for the season to start and just bought an 85-inch Samsung QLED TV. On payments, though, because we're not all rich like Christian in L.A. But 85-inch TV these days, that can't be that. I mean, they probably have good deals on them, right?
Yeah, you can get a good TV for a reasonable
Not like
price
back
nowadays.
in the day. Back
Yeah.
in the day, it was
Yeah.
pretty bad, but that's great.
Yeah, I'm not a big view. People give me a lot of static because they think I'm telling people how to be fans about the wearing the shirt thing. Why is it okay for the people that wear shirts to tell people how they're supposed to be fans? They can't have any other teams. Like, if your team is out, you don't root for anyone. You don't like what? No, that makes you a bad fan. Like, no, I got to pout and just look in the corner and not watch. Like, why? Why is that okay?
Yeah.
For you to tell everybody else how they should be fans.
No, I don't have a lot of teams though. Do you know?
I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of
I
teams,
got, like,
but that's not the
Boston
point.
teams. That's kind of it. I think I said before when I was in LA, I was like, I'm going to try to be a Dodgers fan. I'm going to try to watch the Dodgers. I'm going to try to, and this is back before they were the Dodgers now, but I just didn't.
Like I
you
used to
can't
really like
manufacture
I
it.
used to really like the San Francisco Giants when I was probably in high school. The Red Sox were my team. My National League team was the Giants. Evidently, that's wrong. I don't care about the Giants anymore. But back in the day, they had some left-handed pitchers. I was a left-handed pitcher. Atlee Hammaker and Dave Dravecki and those guys.
Well, Fred, you moved
I kinda
around,
like
so
them.
like you would be in a place and you would be a fan of the local
Yeah, I
team,
mean, I was
right?
a young kid when I was real young, before second grade. I was a Red Sox fan. We had Yaz Bread, and Channel 6 had all the Red Sox games. So, Rico Petrocelli, Tony Canigliaro, all those guys. But then we moved to Jersey, and everybody was either a Yankees fan or a Mets fan. And I chose the Mets because I really like Jerry Koosman. And I like Cleon Jones because he threw left and batted right like I did.
Oh, yeah.
And so I kind of gravitated to the Mets, and it paid.
That's both you guys. You guys both throw left bat right.
Correct.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's very rare too.
Yeah,
There
it
was
is.
not a lot. Like the fact that he knows Cleon Jones did that
Yeah.
is because that they stand out. Ricky
Yeah,
Henderson did it too.
Right, yeah.
There's not that many guys like that.
And so, paid off in '69 when the Mets won, and so I became but I always was I still remained a Red Sox fan.
But when you left New Jersey, did you maintain those connections to the Mets?
No.
Or did you
Well,
kinda
it all depended on who was winning the title that year.
No,
But
they were-
I was a big Knicks fan, a big Jets fan because I love Joe Namath.
Yeah.
I like Joe.
I was a
Namath,
Mets
too.
fan and I was a Rangers fan.
Right, a lot of local
Yeah.
people Rangers. Like
And
my
I-
dad was a Rangers fan too. I think they got the games like.
and I
don't know
remember
why.
Brad Park.
The New York Rangers?
Yeah.
Brad Park was a Ranger.
I hated the Rangers.
And he wrote a book. I used to read all the sports book, and he called the Boston fans Bush League. And then he ended up on the Bruins.
Yeah.
And I still, remained a Brad Park fan. I actually met him. What a nice guy.
Yeah.
Did you tell him like what about the Boston fans?
You take it back
back
now.
then,
That'd be a Fredism.
I
wouldn't
was
it?
with him back then. But then, I moved in 8th grade to the Cape and quickly became a Celtics, back to Red Sox. Believe it or not, and I have to admit this, I really wasn't a Patriots fan. They suck so bad.
Yeah.
And I know in '80s they did well, but
I know it was tough.
I was a Denver Bronco fan. I
'Cause
always
they were winning.
I always loved the AFC West.
Yeah.
Willie Lanier with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, you're not a real fan.
No, I probably wasn't. But I love the Orange Crush, that whole idea, and I love Carl Mecklenburg, and then later Randy Gradishar. I love those players, and so I was a Denver Broncos fan.
So I always would.
And that was before Elway, by the way.
I would always root. I was a huge Patriots fan, but Fred's right. It was hard because you just knew like they weren't going to be there. So like every year, whoever there was a new team, and that '77 Orange Crush Denver team was one of those. Like I rooted like really passionately for them to beat the Raiders in the AFC Championship game that year, and I rooted for them against Dallas in the Super Bowl, and then they got killed.
Crushed.
But I would root for Dallas against Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh was always winning.
Yep.
Then San Francisco got good that first, they went from 3-13 to 13-3, and I was a huge Niners fan for 1 year.
Yeah.
And then I hated them because they won all the time.
Well, how does that work? Could you watch the games even? Like, you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
you just follow it the best you can.
follow, yeah.
Brent Musburger, you're looking live.
He did the
Candlestick Pop.
halftime Monday Night Football. Howard Cosell's wrap up.
Oh, yeah.
I always, for me, it was
Had then main Joe Green.
NFL Primetime and Inside the NFL. Those two, like Sunday nights with NFL Primetime with Boomer, and then Inside the NFL. I love that show. It was just each one was like the NFL filmic look back at the week, and I don't know if it still has that filmic kind of epic quality in those, the way that it captured me as a kid. That was like must-watch TV. Who is it? It's the old quarterback from the Chiefs.
Lenny Dawson.
Lenny
Dawson and Nick Bonacani.
And Nick Bonacani, yep.
Yeah.
I think Chris Collinsworth might have come on at some point.
He came on with them.
Yeah, but we remember my friends and I, we would record Primetime, and we would like talk about it the next day.
I loved watching Primetime with Boomer and Tom Jackson.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Inside the NFL that much. I know the show. I didn't watch it like regularly.
That was an hour show. It seemed like 3 hours. It was like the slowest moving show ever.
I did.
Well, you just go to the highlights, right?
Yeah.
You don't need the
Primetime was great though.
Oh yeah,
like that was a great way to, but now you get to see all the games and you don't really need it.
Right,
so I think they still do it, but it's like on a
it's
on a
it's hard to
platform, right?
find.
They just
I
stream
like Chris Rose does it on NFL Network. That's usually like when we get done here and I get home. And I saw him at the combine in Indy. I just went out to it because it's always like, work is
like your show.
No, I just said it's my favorite part. It's like your work's done. You could just sit down and be like, all right, what the hell happened? Because I'm not like Paul. I can't just watch Red Zone and then decode it all.
So I will say, like on Sundays when I would get home, and let's assume it was a 1 o'clock game. So there might be like one game that, geez, I wonder what happened. Like this is weird. How did this unfold? And I'll wait to see the highlight of that one game. Because I didn't know, like how did they go from up 12 to having to kick a field goal to win the game at the, like what happened there?
Yeah.
This poor kid on TV. He met Jaylen Brown, made a big impression. Now he's just crying his eyes out because he's going. I don't blame him.
No,
I feel for.
Did you ever
the
have
kid.
your heart broken like that by a player? Did anything like disappoint you?
No,
like that?
but
that's a good question.
But that's the age.
Yeah. When you
that happens.
right.
Like
you
the
get
kid
locked
looks
in,
like he couldn't be more than like 6 or 7 years old, right?
Yeah.
If he's even that old, I don't know.
Yeah. He's just,
Closest thing I
he's
can think
devastated.
of, and I wasn't upset about it, and I was older. I mean, I was in college or out of college even, but Ray Bork, who was like my favorite player growing up, and like I remember being so excited to see him win the Stanley Cup with the Avalanche.
You bring up Ray Bork. You want to talk about embarrassing moments? That's one of the most embarrassing Boston sports moments I've ever lived
let
through.
him out of his own parade.
Letting him go to Colorado, come back with the trophy, and have a freaking parade? How pathetic is that as a franchise to do that? I was embarrassed.
Right. It's like, we're so bad, but you got the cup. We couldn't do. We weren't willing to go the extra.
It's not enough to just let him go and win it, but you're going to bring him back and celebrate it?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I had no problem with the trade. But the parade was a bad look.
That was embarrassing.
Bad look.
I mean, the Deion Branch one, that kind of, I mean, is, as an adult, just being like, oh man, Deion Branch, that was Brady's guy.
I don't think that any of those as an adult.
Yeah. No, it's no comparison.
So I can't think of anything in this.
As a kid, though, was there anything that devastated you almost to the point of tears, if not tears?
So, yeah. Like when the Red Sox let Fred Lynn and Carlton Fisk go, Fred Lynn was my favorite player. Fred Lynn and Jim Rice are my two favorite Red Sox.
What a duo.
And when they let they traded Fred Lynn, they let Fisk go in free agency. That I was like maybe 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
I was bummed out.
I
was really bummed out.
Bruins 88 Cup loss, I think. I was 12 years old. That was one for me. Like, I was way into that. Like, every playoff game.
I was drinking heavy in T's Pub. You were only 12?
12 years old, yeah. I was doing, I had a neighborhood pool. Like, I would go to everybody's store and we want to bet on the Bruins. And I would, have everybody, chip in $1 in the neighborhood, and then somebody won the pool. But
I think the most disappointed I was in an outcome was Ali Frazier won when Ali lost.
Wow.
Oh, I was devastated for that one.
Now back in the day, it wasn't like pay-per-view and stuff.
So here's what I did. You couldn't watch it. So on AM radio, there was a station that after every round gave you an update. So I remember being in bed, and this is late at night, and just glued to the radio, waiting for that round to end so you could hear from this guy. And whoever, I forget who was doing it.
Alan Siegel?
No, yeah. They did a good job because I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
And then you get to that last round, and, the round before, I think, where Frazier broke his jaw. It's like, oh, my God, but he's still fighting, and he's got enough rounds built up. He's still going to win. He's still going to win it by decision, and he ended up losing, and I was just devastated. And then that week, Sports Illustrated comes after, and that's back then, a weekly magazine still had relevance.
That was important.
And they showed Ali's face. He had the broken jaw, but Frazier's face looked like he went through a war.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just bumps everywhere because, Ali was just pelting him all night. But what an epic battle that was. I was devastated.
When you got the magazine, was that the first time you'd actually seen imagery of the fight?
Color,
you had only had it in your head, and then all of a sudden that's cool.
That brought it to life.
Yeah.
It was a different time. Now you're seeing it in the moment.
You're watching it on your hand.
86. The Mets. That nothing will ever get to that. But again, I was in high school, so actually, it was my freshman year at college. I just started college.
Well, how did you feel? Because you were a Mets fan too. So any
conflict
not
with that
where you would drop the ball?
By then, we were living in Boston at the men's club on Com Ave and doing bets. But after Game 6, I put a sign out by the tee. I said, "If there's justice on earth and a God in heaven, the Red Sox will win the series in 7." And I put that sign out, and they ended up losing anyway.
Did you send that nice little piece to Robert Kraft? Is that how you got the job?
No.
It's like, look what I did, Mr. Kraft. This is creative.
Well, my history with the Red Sox is actually, I used to be the editor-in-chief of a magazine called New England Sport. And there was a well-known writer, Glenn Stout, who used to be the editor of the best American sports writers. It was a compilation thing. Anyway, so he came to me with this idea. He said, back in 1918, when the Red Sox won the World Series, there was a strike during the series. And the league was so mad at both teams that when the Red Sox won, they didn't get the commemorative fobs that World Series winners went. Back then, you didn't get a ring. You got a fob. It was like a key fob or a chain. It's like a chain. And with a pin at the end. And so none of the Red Sox players got the fob. So Glenn wrote this story that the curse wasn't Babe Ruth being traded. The curse was that they never got this thing, and we have to Major League Baseball has to right this wrong and give them their fob. So after we published the story, I started a campaign. So I met with the Red Sox, and I said, "Can we do this? Can we arrange for the descendants of this team to come?" He goes, "Well, we're not going to do it. There has to be a movement. So if you can get a petition with like 10,000 names, we'll do it." So for that season, the Red Sox allowed me to set up a table outside of Fenway Park, and before every home game, I would gather names, and we got the names.
Yeah.
And so we got in touch with Babe Ruth's granddaughter and all the descendants, Bobby Doerr, all these people. I don't know Bobby Doerr.
I was gonna say Bobby
No,
Doerr.
not,
No.
It was I forget all the names, but we got them together, and they had the day, and they found the design for the fob, and they actually had this event. It was, I think we were playing the Kansas City Royals, and they had the event, and everyone was on the field, and they gave them the fobs. And that season, they went on like a 13-game win streak right after that.
It's happening.
And
I did it.
So Channel
Morgan's
7,
Magic?
Channel 7 came to my house and interviewed me like, this is going to be it. This is the year.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What year was that? It wasn't 2004.
No,
was
it was was it 89 or 90? It was late 80s or early 90s. I forget actually the actual year.
88, that'd be my guess.
Did you get a fob? I hope you kept the fob.
No,
for
I
yourself.
didn't get one.
No,
I didn't get one.
The fob guy. You didn't get
Yeah, I should have got one.
You
Right?
should have. You
Yeah.
did the whole thing.
Yeah.
10,000 signatures.
Yeah.
Did you have like a whole presentation?
But
like,
it was great because we'd collect the signatures until like the second inning. Then we'd go in and watch the game. You know?
I used to be able to do that. I felt like you used to be able to walk into Red Sox games like 7th inning on. It was just like doors open. You could just plop
Oh, yeah,
in
they'd
there.
let you walk
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I was in
Did that
school, we did that a lot.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, when I was
Back
in
in the
college,
day.
we get $3 seats and sit in the bleachers.
Yeah. That was, I mean, when I was driving cross country, it was like we could have walked into Colorado for $14. We could have gone into Cleveland for like $22. You know, it was like.
It was like midweek afternoon games.
Yeah.
We would definitely,
Oh, yeah.
like, if we, you know,
I did it.
You'd get done with your last class, you'd go over.
Yeah.
Or maybe not wait till your last class was over.
Paul wants a game, so here's another one.
Thank you.
Alex says, Paul totally crushed the first one that I had, and this one is all geared toward the 80s and 90s players.
Oh, boy.
He'll crush these too.
90s is going to be tough.
Try my hardest.
First player, I wore number 84 before it became synonymous with another Patriots legend. I was one of the team's top receivers during the early 90s. I caught the first touchdown pass of Drew Bledsoe's
Sean
career.
Jefferson?
You don't know?
Sean Jefferson?
No.
He was 84, wasn't he?
No, he was.
First touchdown pass of that this is. I'm just going to go on record.
Uh-oh.
This is wrong. Like it says, number 84 caught the first touchdown pass of Drew Bledsoe's career.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a preseason game. Is he claiming?
I don't know.
Because the first touchdown pass for Drew Bledsoe was Ben Coates, and he wore 87.
He says Vincent Brisby.
Oh, Ultimate Brisby.
Brisby wore 82.
Yeah. So there you go, Alex. You're already wrong. Player 2, I was.
Like earlier in his career, maybe he wore 84 and he changed to 82. I'll allow.
I check this.
Well,
no,
let's
he's
check it.
82 the whole time.
Okay.
Player 2, I was a quarterback who started games for the Patriots in the early 90s.
Tommy Hodson.
Oh, am I allowed to guess without
course.
being eliminated?
No, you get eliminated.
Okay, then I'm going to hold off.
Okay. I won just one game as a Patriots starter.
Oh.
Just one game.
I think you might have it.
No, it wasn't Tommy Hodson.
Oh, okay.
I was later traded to the Green Bay Packers where I backed up Brett Favre.
Carlson?
Hugh Millen.
He won more than one game.
Oh, boy.
Jesus,
Another
what are we
one.
doing here?
Yeah.
They went 6-10 in 91.
He went 5-8 in 90.
Oh, come on, Alex.
91.
I didn't even know if I want to do this third one. I was a defensive player who has 2 stints with the players with the players. I think he meant the Patriots.
Defensive player with 2 stints with the Patriots.
Played in a Super Bowl. I played for 16 years and only made 1 Pro Bowl. I had 9.5 sacks in 77 before missing most of the next season. I mean, I don't know if it's true.
I don't know.
Tony McGee.
Julius Adams.
Julius Adams was only on the Patriots.
Oh, baby.
Right?
Where are you getting your info, Alex? I mean, come on.
I think he's doing. I think he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
They're all wrong.
I think he did it on purpose.
So you crushed this one too because you saw you didn't get any of them because they weren't any of them were
They were all
weren't right.
wrong.
Yeah, they were all wrong.
I thought, I did the 85 thing last year. Julius Adams was funny because I found like they did like a whole thing of like pomp and circumstance. Like, this is it. This is the last game. They I think that Cincy game they won, the last game here, they had like a whole ceremony. And then he's like, I'm going to play again. I'm going to keep playing. Like, he just kept playing all the way. Oh, he came back in 87, I guess. Played another year. Maybe he was hurt in 86.
So maybe that's what he meant.
Mm.
Maybe that's what he meant.
Yeah, but he was New England through and through.
Oh, boy.
Anyway. I thought when he said 2 stints with the Patriots, that implied that he played for someone else.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not what he meant.
But that's what that means.
But yeah, but I'm going to allow that it's not a mistake.
All right.
Just, you know.
So maybe he got Julius
Although I didn't
Adams.
know he played. Did he? Was he part of the strike? Did he come back and break the strike or something? I thought 85 was his last game.
10 games in 87.
I thought 85 was his last
Didn't do
year.
much. I mean, he didn't even record.
That's part of the whole song. Julius Adams, what a career. Super Bowl appearance in his retirement year.
Right.
Right?
Oh, there's
85.
a whole thing,
I
and then
thought
he's
that was
like,
his last year, and then he came back and played in 87?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say that
You
that's
got
what
that
he
one.
meant.
All right.
You got that one right.
Audrey writes in, Happy Wednesday to the Blue Crew.
That's right.
Fred, please fix the TV monitors behind you. Yesterday it was the only one behind Deuce. Now all three. A frequent bright white line across like a refresh. Not good on the eyes. I think that's by design, right?
That's by design, yeah.
I could take it off.
Yeah.
I don't care.
As you were saying,
that's
I
meant
just
to be
noticed
there,
it.
right?
Yeah, I just noticed it.
Yeah, I see it. It's a white line that goes across.
It's a wipe.
Where?
Yeah.
Ready?
Watch.
Ready?
You got to
Here
wait.
it comes. Wait.
Okay,
Here it
I'm
comes.
waiting.
Hold
I'm
on.
waiting.
Hold on.
There I am.
There. You see it? Did you see it?
Yeah, I did see
Right
it.
across.
It's like a UFO. I don't know.
You're just changing screens. I get it.
It happens every 8 seconds on the 22nd.
Matt being creative, right?
It really was me being creative. I'm
Good
sorry.
job, Matt.
Bad job, Matt. Change it.
I will take it off. It was debated beforehand.
So the off-season question, what is one thing over the remainder of the summer that you're looking forward to? Something not sports-related.
Oh, yeah. Sunday, I'm going to be on the beach on Cape Cod.
Well, I will have an announcement to make.
Oh.
I mentioned it before as a thought, but it is coming to fruition.
Huh?
I'm going to be starting my own podcast. It's kind of an extension of this show, but
what?
It's more about the house I live in and the history of Cape Cod and all that stuff. But we'll be talking about appliances and do-it-yourself stuff and all the stuff that piss you off and UFOs and conspiracy theories and all this. A friend of mine, myself, Mark Callahan, we're going to be starting a podcast. I think, don't hold me to it, I think we're going to film our first episode July 18th.
All right. FU, Fred Unfiltered.
We're doing some pre-recording on Friday. That's going to be, part of the show.
Get some studio
So it's not
space.
live. It's not like this show where it's live. It's going to be pre-recorded podcast, but certainly we'll be taking emails and all that stuff and answering. And then I think once a month maybe we'll do a live stream.
Okay.
We'll see how but I'll be officially announcing it on my X and all that. But if you're listening to this show on a Wednesday in the middle of summer, you've got some news. And it's going to be called Live from the Toby House.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cape history, little Cape history.
Yeah.
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 The Widda.
Yeah.
I'll go check out that pirate ship.
I'm a little worried about Fred. Sounds like he's sort of carving out
Transitioning?
Yeah, you're carving out a path going down the wrong direction. I don't like this. You have a responsibility to Mike and I.
Right.
No, but I've been thinking about this for a while.
You got thoughts, you got things,
Yeah.
and you don't have to drive all the way to compile them. You can just do them right there in your house.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
So
what about you, Paulie? What do you got left?
I had nothing going in
No?
life. No, I don't
Anything
know.
you want to do?
Just I'm taking next week off. Hoping to do some fun things. Might go see the Tall Ships Monday night. Little dinner cruise.
Sounds cool. Little dinner.
With my
little
soulmate.
dancing. Oh, sounds cool.
Yeah, just some day trips planned.
Yeah.
And some fill-in shows, as Fred likes
Oh,
to call them, the
tomorrow.
sad holiday fill-in
tomorrow
replacement.
is
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
So
tomorrow's
why
the
don't you
big one.
talk about that?
Tomorrow, 6 a.m. Eastern, 6 to 10 on the Sports Hub here in Boston. Hardy, Perillo, and Hart.
Oh.
The old
I got FOMO.
the old Patriots pre- and post-game
record it.
show back together. We've already been on the Slack channel for the show, And Andy and I have already.
So you go on Slack for this.
We've laid down the gauntlet. Well, they asked me.
Not since the Golden Girls has there been such a reunion show.
They lay down the gauntlet to see Andy and I how fast we can get Hardy to walk out of the studio.
Oh yeah,
that's our
a lot
goal.
of pen drops.
In the middle of the
like a segment
around the 8 o'clock hour. I just want you to throw in "Everybody loves a donut." See what he says.
He'll laugh. He will definitely laugh.
Ask him about his music shows too.
And ask him
to play music.
Ask him if he gets Blue Chew for free.
Blue Chew,
because he's the Blue Chew guy.
Okay.
What
is Blue Chew?
It's ED medicine. Yeah. Look at Deuce. It's like, woo, woo.
We can get that? I thought that was band performance enhancing.
Vicky Vale.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's the Blue Chew guy.
He's just walking around handing it out to people?
Yeah. Well, that's what I want to know. Does he get like free Blue Chew?
That was what. Like full on. Remember that in DTF St. Louis where she's like full on. She's full on. She's getting full on.
Does he get free Blue Chew or do they stiff him?
I'm trying to forget that I watched that show.
All right. That'll be it for this edition of Patriots Unfiltered, and that's it for this week. We're back to our regular schedule next week, Tuesdays and Thursdays in the off season, getting closer to training camp, but we will see you next Tuesday.
Hey, this is Deuce. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us wherever you get your podcasts, like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else that we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.